All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. We're gonna be doing something different yet again, ladies and gentlemen. A new video idea, another one. Like DJ Khaled said, another one. I just finished up traveling to the Marshall Islands and Mount Everest. You'll find out soon. Now we're gonna be doing something a little bit different. We're gonna be doing something completely different. We're gonna be reacting to some unpopular opinions, on Reddit. I could do this on Twitter. I could do this on Instagram. I could do this on TikTok. I could do this on anywhere. But I feel like Reddit. I mean, this is a whole fucking page full of unpopular opinions about literally anything. So anything that I could assert a logical or a certain opinion on, then I will. By the way, I have to change my fucking Reddit account username, Kanye Goated 2021. Yep, we're gonna have to make some changes here. But yeah, we're gonna see. Reddit, unpopular opinions. 452 people online right now. There's almost 5 million members on this page. It's kind of crazy. Anyways, let's start off with the first one here that we could start off with. Let's look at it. ASMR is the opposite of relaxing. It is annoying and disgusting. I cannot tell you how many times I have seen people doing ASMR crap in my feed on everywhere I log in on. It is so incredibly annoying. How can people find it relaxing? It's not. It's ear-piecing, and I'm tired of being a hone. Or being a hone. What do you mean a hone? Shown it against my will. Yeah, fix that right there. But anywho, what do y'all think? ASMR is the opposite of relaxing. And honestly, for me, it really just depends. It just depends. I feel like the tapping, like for example, when people like obviously have the ASMR. By the way, if you don't know what ASMR is, I don't know what ASMR stands for, but it's basically just content where people have a microphone and they have like the purpose of it is just to listen to it, and there's like certain sounds that it really gets into your ear. It's supposed to it's a form of relaxation to some people, obviously not to this person here and to many others. For me, it honestly just depends. I think like food ASMR is probably the fucking worst. I do not like it when people are just smacking their fucking food. So hearing people do mukbangs, ASMR mukbangs, no thank you. No thank you. I am on board with that. I do not like that shit. I don't like people smacking their fucking food. That shit is nasty. However, there's some ASMR that I could find relaxing. Now, do I listen to it? Do I watch it on a regular occasion? No, the fuck I don't. I don't need this shit. This is not my form to relax. I do other things to relax. But for some people, I could understand why is it a form of relaxation. It just depends on what it is, Like mukbangs, definitely not a good form. I think like the tapping does get annoying, but it also depends what sound it is. It depends what it is that you're kind of like what this, like if it's people, and like if it's like I don't know, like an object that it makes like poppy noises, it could be a little annoying. There was one that Sabrina did like years ago for like a music video behind the scenes. I think it was like I forgot what music video it was, but it was like an ASMR where she was like blowing gum, and she was like doing like she was like rubbing like on a piece of paper, and it was kind of satisfying. I'm not gonna lie. Some of it was satisfying, some of it was not so satisfying. It just depends what it is. That's really all I got here. Like it just depends what kind of sounds. For example, the sounds of hair cutting from the electric razor. It's like an intense, relaxing, tingly feeling. I don't mind it. For what bothers me is the fingernail tapping. That's definitely annoying. Like the fingernail tapping, I'm not on board with that for sure. The whispering, the making noises in videos, all to grab people's attention. I could understand for certain sounds For certain sounds I can understand. You just gotta show me what it is, and if it sounds appealing, if it sounds relaxing, if it sounds like I'm ascending to heaven, then I will find it relaxing. However, if it's fucking people just doing mukbangs and just tapping with their fucking nails on the microphone, then obviously we have a different story here. But let's move on to the next one. Okay, let's just find something that I could be interested in. Okay, cupcakes should be only eaten with a fork. People should be eating cupcakes with a fork. The cupcake liner is a built-in bowl. You can hold the bowl, peel off a part of the liner, use a fork to eat the cupcake like a normal slice of cake. Alternatively, people can unwrap the cupcake entirely, place it on a plate like a human with table manners, and then eat it with a fork. People who eat cupcakes like an apple are doing it wrong and getting crumbles all over their shirt and frosting all over their nose. If you're not, obvious, but like, just fucking eat it properly then. Don't make a mess. Also, people who take the bottom half of a cupcake and place it on the top of the frosting to make a sandwich, please never talk to me. You don't need bro, come on. Like, a cupcake? It's a fucking cupcake. What do you mean I'm gonna eat it with the fork? If I can hold it with my hand, why do I need a fork? To eat something that I can have just simply grabbing it with my fucking hand? Why do I need a fork? An apple. I could just eat that shit because I could just grab an apple and eat it. A fucking banana. Why do I have to eat a banana with a fork or with a knife? Like just cutting the pieces off and then just eating like... Nah, man. A cupcake is just this little fuck ass cupcake. Take the wrapper off and just eat the motherfucker. If you look, for me, the way I eat a cupcake, take the wrapping off, but I don't take it off completely. I have the wrapping on the bottom so that the pieces that, come off, they stay on, like the crumbs, they stay on the wrapping paper, and then I lick the frosting, and then I get to the actual cupcake itself. And then I don't make a mess. I'm not fucking shoving that shit. I'm not taking too much of a big bite where my fucking nose and my lips start getting fucking, frosting all over my damn face. Just eat it with good gentleman like qualities. Don't fucking be a monster and just eat the shit. Be demure. Be demure. You can eat a cupcake without looking like you fucking starved down 20 packs of fucking Little Debbie's. Okay? You can eat it properly without a fucking fork. You don't need a damn fork. What the hell, man? Damn, it must be hard to live with this type of OCD. Imagine being handed a cupcake at a party where there are no forks and not realizing you don't need one. Sounds like a skill issue to me. This take is madness. Serial killer vibes, but earn the upvote for a truly unpopular opinion. Cupcakes are meant to be stuffed in your face. That's it. Whatever mess or crumbs happens, so it be it. Yeah, but also, like, you create it being a mess. Like, you control the cupcake. How are you gonna let the cupcake make a mess? You can literally fucking make sure that you're not making a mess. Just have the fucking thing. Just eat. Obviously, if you take the wrapper off and you throw it away before you eat the damn cupcake, obviously you're gonna have all the crumbs in your hands, and then it's gonna be going on the floor, and then some of it's gonna be going on your fucking face. But still, hell no, you don't need a fucking fork to eat a damn cupcake. What the hell, man? Get the fuck out of here. Airports. Let's get to the next one. Airports are a great place to hang out. Everyone says that airports suck because they are boring or even frustrating. I disagree. Airports are a great place to hang out and wait for your flight. There's so much to see and even do. You can plane spot. You can people watch and see how people act and interact with each other from all around over the world. There is different parts of the airport to explore. Lastly, there are just plenty of bars and restaurants where it's even socially acceptable to drink or two at 6 a.m. Airports are great. look, I'm not gonna go to a fucking airport just to hang out. I'm sorry. Like, an airport? You do realize, I mean, look, you gotta make the best out of it. Once you're done, getting your once you pass TSA, you're free to go. You're waiting for your flight, so you can go out and not go out, but you can go out your way and go eat breakfast at a fucking restaurant. You can buy whatever liquor you can, whatever you want to get. Once you pass TSA and everything, you have the freedom, and that's what you're gonna do, waiting for your flight. But me personally, obviously, like, once you're past TSA and you're just waiting for your flight, for me it's just really, yeah, you can go eat somewhere and talk and whatever, but like, I'm not gonna specifically go out my way and be like, let's go to the airport just to fucking eat or just to do certain things, like, around, like, we're only doing this because we gotta take a fucking flight here. I'm not just coming here to fucking eat at a restaurant. Obviously, you can't just go to an airport and just be like, no, actually, I'm not gonna take a flight. I'm just gonna, I just want to try this, like, fucking Chick-fil-A here. You couldn't go to any fucking other Chick-fil-A. You have to go to the Chick-fil-A in a fucking airport. No, you can't do that. But I do think that certain places, and it's kind of repetitive. Like, you just, like, okay, you just go to a fucking restaurant. And if you're not going to a restaurant or a bar, then you're going to, like, a fucking magazine shop and, like, a place that has, like, snacks for the plane. Great to hang out, whatever. There's certain things you can do to wait, but it's not, like, exciting. It's not something that it's like, oh, yeah, sure, It's just something to kind of keep you there entertained until you get to the flight. If you gotta wait very long for the flight, that's another thing. You got there super early, just to be, responsible and to get there ahead of time. But a fucking goddamn, if you're waiting for your flight and you're 2 or 3 hours early, I mean, you're gonna be at a restaurant for what, like an hour, maybe less, maybe 2 hours. I don't know, but damn, it just feels like a waste. It just feels like a waste of time there, just doing nothing. But I mean, I guess for some people, if you're really bored, you can maybe make something fun hanging out at an airport, but sure, not for me though. Let's see. Wow, this one's pretty interesting. Too many people. We all know that our current population model is unsustainable. We should sterilize an entire 15 years of humans at birth. One full generation with no new births would massively improve the chances of survival. Okay, I mean, I do agree that there's so many fucking people on planet Earth. There are 8 billion motherfuckers on this planet, and a lot of them shouldn't be here. I do agree with you with that, to a certain extent. What the fuck is that word? Sterilize? Big boy word for me. What does that mean? Make something free from bacteria? No. Deprive the ability to produce offspring, typically by removing or blocking. Okay. An entire 15 years of humans at birth. Okay, yeah, no. Look, wait, what no need. It's happening by itself. When AI girlfriend comes out, it's over. In the meantime, stay away from my balls, motherfucker. The thing is that, like, unfortunately, it's just like a natural I mean, obviously, it's just already a natural process. Like, you just already have people, coming from different places around the world. And I mean, there's certain countries that have, like, certain restrictions with how many people they can, like, how many women can give birth to a specific amount of children. I think in, like, Korea or Japan, you can't have more than, like, 3 kids. You got to keep, like, the birth rate is definitely lower in a lot of countries, like in those countries, right? But yeah, I definitely agree to a certain extent. There's still a lot of people here, and we would like to get rid of them. But I mean, fuck it. Naturally, it's gonna happen. You know, we're not. I mean, can we really complain? Because we all are gonna be here for a limited time only. We're a special offer. We're not gonna be here forever. Some people last longer than others, obviously, and some people make it way too far, and obviously others, don't get to live long enough in life. But to a certain extent, yes, I do believe that there are too many people here. But to control that, it's gonna be fucking tough. I mean, we're gonna have to have restrictions for fucking almost every country. You can't have more than 3 kids, or whatever. It's just kind of like, it is what it is. Um, it's fine to go Dutch. What is that? Split the bill. Okay, it's fine to go Dutch, aka split the bill on first dates. Do I read this shit or not? This is a lot to read. Do I even fucking bother reading this whole thing? I don't even feel like reading it. Me personally, to pay for the first... Okay, I'm not going to even read this shit, but I'm just going to say the opinion the way it is. For me personally, if it's the first date, and it was my idea to go on the first date, I'm paying. Now, to be honest, since I am a gentleman, even if she offered to go on a first date, I'm gonna pay on the first date. Either way, I got you. Whether I offered the date or whether my date decided to offer me the date, I'm paying on the first date. Second date, third date, that all really depends. For me, I'm a gentleman, so I'm just gonna continue paying for the first couple dates to eventually, I get more comfortable, and then eventually, we can decide on whether we're going to split it or not in the future. That's just kind of basically where we're going to go there. Interesting take here. Breakfast is a waste of time that could be spent sleeping. Literally any time spent preparing, eating breakfast, whether it's 5 minutes or 30 minutes, is time that could be spent on sleep, which is a far better use of that time, in my opinion. Even one single less minute of sleep for the sake of an unnecessary morning meal is unacceptable to me. Why would I even want or need energy first thing in the morning? I guess I can understand for those who do heavy manual labor, but most people don't. I haven't eaten breakfast in years, and there's absolutely zero negative consequence to skipping it. Also, when I say breakfast in the morning, I'm referring to a morning meal. Technically, your first meal will always be breakfast, but you know what I mean. Okay. So basically, you're not going to be up at fucking 8 in the morning eating your cereal or pancakes or whatever, because that time could have been more time for you to sleep. I mean, yes, true, it could have been fucking time for you to sleep. But at the same time, you get up in the morning, and if you're eating breakfast, you already committed, buddy. You're already awake. You're going to go back to sleep after eating breakfast? I mean, you woke up to get ready, to prepare yourself, to start your day. Whatever is the first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning, whether it's looking at your phone, whether it's fucking brushing your teeth or showering, whatever, changing, whatever is the first thing you do. And breakfast is something that obviously not a lot of people do. Like for me, I don't really have breakfast often. Like my breakfast, when I'm working, right, when I have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning, every single Monday through Friday, I drink my shake in the morning and I don't eat until lunchtime. But that's my breakfast, just a fucking little shake. That's it. So for me, I don't have a breakfast, and I don't think breakfast is very necessary as I got older. I love breakfast though. Like for me to eat pancakes and waffles and all that shit, I still love breakfast dearly. But for me, as you get when you get older, it's definitely just like a thing that you just want to do. It's not something you have to do. Like he or she is mentioning that, yeah, it's just time that you can use to sleep or even just to prepare yourself throughout the day. Maybe not necessarily just to be spent for sleeping, but just to prepare yourself for the rest of the day. Breakfast, you don't need to fucking eat breakfast. You know what I mean? You can hold it off to lunch, because I do think lunch is probably the most important, or dinner. I mean, it depends. But most people's first meal is lunch. So I would think that lunch would be probably the most important. Let's see. Let's do a couple more. and then we can finalize this. I enjoy watching really awful movies. I enjoy them. I love the bad acting, the cheap effects, and the most meaningless storyline. I actively watch these movies and I laugh at them even though have a 20% on Rotten Tomatoes. You know, that's happened to me a couple times. I've seen movies that I didn't really like, but it's not really like the whole movie though. For me, it's certain scenes that I think are really bad that I might be like, you know what, let me just fucking hate on it real quick and just rewatch it. Or maybe there's like something funny, but it's just so stupid, but the rest of the movie just sucks, and I'm like, you know what, I'll just watch for that part. I don't know if I'll watch a bad movie in its entirety after watching it and knowing that it's a bad movie, but there'll probably be certain parts of a really bad movie that I just want to watch or just laugh at, and then boom, I'm into it. You know what I mean? But for me, I'm not gonna watch a movie that I already know that fucking sucks in its entirety. I'm not gonna do that. Like I could just be fucking sleeping. I could just be watching a fucking movie that I actually do enjoy watching because it's not terrible, or just watching a new movie. Like for me, I feel like I would just YouTube it. Like I would just find it on YouTube. Like that movie was so fucking terrible. You remember that scene where she's like shitting on his face? I don't know why, man. I don't know where I got that from. And I just look it up, and then boom, I laugh at the scene. But then I don't go and watch the whole movie. That's kind of crazy. I'm not watching the whole fucking movie just like that. In my opinion, sandals don't look good on anyone, ever. It's not feet. I don't care about feet. I just think that sandals as fashion function is a bad look. I've never seen anyone that can pull off sandals. So it must be the sandals, not the person. I know. I don't know. I wish I had a better reason for my opinion. I just think they look funny and aren't a good look. Gotta let my dogs out, my guy. I don't blame people for wearing them. I get that. I'm even cool with bare feet. It's just sandals for a reason. How about thongs? Perhaps you don't like toes on display in footwear. I like toes but hate sandals. Flip-flops all day over sandals. Just wear. I mean, if it's not about the feet, then it doesn't really matter about the fucking feet. It's just the sandals. I mean, bro, to be honest with you, this is not even much of a thing that I really give a fuck about. I mean, it's fucking sandals. It slides. Whatever, bro. Barefoot or not, slides are slides. They're comfortable. If they're comfortable, they're not. They're just there to relax your feet. You're not gonna be going home with your fucking shoes on. So you gotta please your feet in a more comfortable setting. You know what I mean? Whether you have socks on with sandals or not, you gotta be comfortable. I'm sorry, you're not gonna be wearing shoes. So it's all about comfortability in this situation here. It doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter here. Cereal for dinner is better than for breakfast. For dinner, nah. I get breakfast for dinner. I can understand breakfast for dinner because a good breakfast could, like eggs and stuff. Like there's certain like sausages and shit like that. Like there's certain breakfast foods that you can definitely have for dinner. But specifically cereal for dinner, I don't know. Like because like for me, if it's a low key dinner, if it's nothing special, sure, go ahead. But like if you're eating a real dinner, that's not gonna be your real dinner. I would think that would be like a snack before dinner or a snack after dinner. Like I feel like a cereal is just like your late night snack. Like I would see that more as like a late night snack after dinner or before dinner, however you want to eat or however you prepare yourself, right? I just don't think it works as the dinner. Like just imagine just saying What did you have for dinner? Cereal. Like, that's it. Just cereal for dinner is kind of crazy. Not gonna lie, but but sure. I guess sure. I guess we're gonna take it. Hold on, let me fucking find this game real quick because I'm trying to fucking yeah, whatever. Anywho, let's move on here. Having a super nice car is pointless. All right, I'm not reading it. All this, but I can surely give you an opinion. Yes, I am not a car guy, so for sure I do think this is facts. Having a super nice car is pointless. Now, what do you mean by pointless? Like, do you mean just having a nice car in itself is done? Or it's just like, hold on, let me just read it. So many people consider having a car will turn heads to be the sign that you've made it. But I cannot see why. Congrats, your nice car will be the first target for a carjacker, car burglary. You're most likely to get your car keyed, and cops will see you speeding before anyone else. Not to mention the number of times I've had someone tell me how they got their dream car just to have it wrecked or totaled shortly after. Pimped out cars put a target on you, and it's much higher stress in general. You're going to obsess over the car looking clean and presentable, fuss over every little scratch, worry about other drivers, etc. It's more stressful and money that it's worth. Having a reasonable looking car that can safely get you from point A to point B is all you need. A car is a necessary tool, not an accessory necessarily, for most at least. Most standard cars already have a bunch of bells and whistles you don't need anyway. So what if your fancy car can go faster than my Toyota? The speed limit applies to you too, and a cop will see you before anyone else. Not to mention how stupid it is to see anyone with a customized Corvette or something living in a trailer or a shoebox apartment. You're invested in the wrong space and you just look dumb. Edit, damn, I was not expecting to do a number. I agree. Because the thing is, when you have a super nice car, right? It's cool. You reached to the point where you had enough money to afford a super nice car. So I understand that when you do reach to that goal where you're able to afford a super nice car, let's just say like it's a Corvette, like he or she mentioned, a Corvette. And that's your, oh man, I made it. Like, fuck it, I did it. I bought my dream car. Oh my goodness, everyone's gonna, But again, let's just not care about what others think. Let's just say this man is just proud that he was able to afford his car. And he doesn't have to stunt. He doesn't have to stunt and flex that, oh, dream car, I got it, whatever. Let's just say only his family knows it, and that's about it. A couple friends, blah, 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 whatever. But that's his car that he wanted forever, this and that. It's just that some people think that just having that car is like the whole fucking personality. It's like the car is like another person. They treat it like it's a fucking person. And I get it. You want to obviously take care of your car. It is something that you need, and it's very necessary to take care of it. As anything else in life, you just got to take care of things in life. But necessarily they have like there's just some guys or girls out there that just have like this desire to just, like, their car is everything to them. Like they fucking rather have a nice car than fucking have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or some shit. Like, I don't know. Like, there's just some people that have this crazy obsession with like their cars. For me, obviously, I don't have that, nor do I give a fuck about having a nice ass car. I mean, look, I like looking at nice ass cars. I've been in some nice ass cars. And look, if I ever do afford to get a nice looking car, that's cool. But in the end of the day, it's just a fucking car. And obviously, yeah, they do have a point here where they do mention, like, obviously there's going to be people targeting for that fucking car. Oh, you got a fucking McLaren? Which, by the way, to have money enough to get a fucking McLaren makes you above a lot of people. So people are definitely going to be looking at that motherfucking McLaren and being like, oh, this is fucking nice. Let's carjack this motherfucker. So I do understand it. It does get to a point where some people can take advantage of that. You know, like, oh, you have a fucking Lambo? Yep, we're robbing that shit. So I get it. I do understand that in the end of the day, just simply having a nice car and just making it seem like it's more than just something that you need and it's necessary for you. You're making it seem like this is, you know, just something more than that. In the end of the day, it's just a fucking car. Just to put it literally quite simply, you know, it's just a fucking car. Not saying that it's not important to you. It could be important to you, and you gotta take care of it, and you want to. It's a part of your life. It's your fucking car. It's gonna take you from point A to point B all the time, but don't make it seem like this is something that you've been preparing for your whole life. Once that you got to that car, once you're able to afford that car, then you're able to say like, okay, I've done a lot to get here. You know what? Let me, you know, appreciate what I got. But also, they have and also I really did like that last point where they mentioned people fucking have these fucking fancy ass cars, but then they're living in a little bullshit ass trailer or in some little ass apartment. It's like you got a fucking money to get a Corvette, but you live in a fucking you barely live in a condo. You live in a fucking condo. Like what? You live in a fucking motel. Basically, you live in a small ass shoebox apartment. You're living in a fucking trailer, or whatever the case may be. I don't think it's the biggest priority in life. Basically, what I'm trying to say. You can make it into a priority, but that certainly is not the most important. While a lot of people think it is. Fuck no. Ooh, okay. Steph Curry, at 6'3", is an elite defender. As one of the top best players on offense of all time, he's generally considered a liability on defense. But for his size, he may be one of the better defenders in the league. Look, I know Steph Curry does not have the size to defend like a fucking absolute, you know, steal, but he isn't first of all, no, he's not an elite defender. There are guys smaller than Steph that are obviously way better defenders than Steph Curry. The thing is, Steph Curry just emphasizes on defense when he absolutely needs to sometimes. And he's had his moments where, you know, he's able to, you know, kind of put pressure defensively on certain guards around his size. But this man is not a threat on defense. If you're not a threat on defense, how are you going to be considered? No, you're not an elite defender if you can't even be considered a threat on defense. I mean, especially because Steph Curry, I mean, obviously his power is on offense. The man is the greatest shooter of all time. You know, that's his specialty. That is what he is best at. Obviously, shooting that basketball, shooting that thing, making it look Steph-erless. But defensively, middle of the pack. Middle of the pack. You know, it's just middle of the road. Like, there's just a bunch of guys that are, you know, who are 6'3" and under defenders in the league right now. Lou Dort, Drew Holiday, Anthony Edwards, Josh Hart, Markelle Fultz. There's a bunch of guys that defensive rebounding is very important. Defensive rebounding is like the least important part of a defense for a guard. Well, yes, obviously, because they're not any forwards, they're not a center, so obviously they don't have the size to get those defensive rebounds as much. But still, just being able to get steals, just be able to get certain blocks, or just to get deflections, you know? We're not counting rebounds here. Steph Curry is not going to pick up so many rebounds. That's why he almost never has a bunch of triple-doubles. He doesn't have the size for it. But he'll put up 40 fucking points and shoot fucking 9 for 13. You know, that's a good stat line for Steph. But still, you know, he's going to still basically get a bunch of, you know, points off the board. And defensively, he'll put an effort at times, but he's not an elite defender for sure. Bathrooms should be blasting with music in all settings. I'm coming at this more from a work standpoint, but I can't think of a reason why this shouldn't be a standard anywhere. Why are bathrooms the quietest place at every establishment when you exactly want the opposite in a public setting? I don't need to hear the AC. I don't need to hear the C unit. So I don't need to see the C. What the fuck? Oh my god. Letting out a giant turd after lunch in the bathroom, or my boss hearing me flush the pipes at 200 miles per second, breaking all laws of physics and sound barriers. I want to go to the bathroom at work and shit in peace and not play how do I let out the quietest fart game in the bathroom stall. Bathrooms should be playing loud enough music so that you can just hear it behind the door. Blasting with music in all settings. I mean, like in restaurants, they do that. They play music in the bathroom. I don't mind that for sure. I definitely don't mind that. But I mean, the thing is that like, yeah, in certain situations, like for example, yes, if you're taking a shit in a public restroom, then obviously that's the time that you don't want. That's when you're the most vulnerable in the bathroom. That's when you expect nobody to be in the bathroom so they don't have to hear you take a shit, fart, shart, do all that shit. But for the most part, people are in that bathroom taking a leak, boom, and get the fuck out. But obviously, if you coming in there taking a shit, obviously you expect, you don't want to hear, and you want to make sure nobody is there. You know, it's like you got to be slick with it. You go to the bathroom, let's say it's an emergency. Shit. Bro, I remember one time, so fucking random. This is in middle school. We were walking back home. Oh my god. I had to take a gigantic one. Let's just say that. And I couldn't hold it. I could not hold it. So we went to a store. It was like a winery place. This is when I was living in Philly. I was like in the 4th or 5th grade. Dude, it was bad. I was like, Mom, I'm going to go to the bathroom in this fucking winery place. I'm sorry. I got to go. I can't wait to go home. I can't wait. I got to do it right now. It's unleashing. And the bathroom was so fucking quiet. I could hear my footsteps. I could hear my breath. I could hear everything. It's like my ears just completely are unclogged from everything. I could hear fucking what's going on in Japan. But in that situation, obviously you're very vulnerable. You're taking a shit in a public restroom. So of course you don't want people to come in and being like, "Oh, who the fuck is taking a shit in here?" And also, like, it's just kind of awkward when people walk in and then obviously you're taking a shit there, and then they try to open the door. Man, this happened a couple times. They try to open the stall that you're in because they somehow don't see your feet. Which sometimes is kind of crazy because sometimes I have my feet up against the toilet just so I don't get caught in the stall or in the bathroom stall. But this would really mostly be in school if I actually had to take a dump in school, which I only had to do it like twice. But but those 2 times that I did it, there was people in the bathroom, so I was definitely scared that someone was gonna come up and be like, you know, whatever. But obviously, if they don't see my feet from the bottom, obviously they're gonna assume no one's in the stall, so they're gonna be knocking in, and obviously it's gonna be locked, so they're gonna be like, "What the fuck? Why is this shit locked? But I don't see nobody in here." They're like, someone's trying to hide. And then, you know, there's always, in the boys' bathroom, you just assume there's going to be people fucking just trying to see, like, oh shit, who's in the bathroom? Or trying to go underneath. You get vulnerable and you set yourself up. Absolutely. But, I mean, it's a risk that you just got to take. Fuck it. You just got to take it. Let's do one more. And this one seems to be very interesting. Final unpopular opinion of the day. Public proposals are more about attention than love. Let me drink some water real quick. Hold on. All right. Before we get to the next one, I never understood the obsession with public proposals. To me, it feels more like a performance than an actual intimate moment between two people. When someone proposes in front of a crowd with cameras out and strangers watching, it's not just about you anymore. It's about the audience, the reaction, the skeptical. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for celebrating love, but why does something so personal have to be turned into a social media event? It adds pressure, especially on the person being proposed to. Like, what if they're not ready, or what if they want to say no? Do they just smile and nod because everyone's cheering? And let's be honest, half of the time, these over the top proposals are more about getting that viral moment than the actual relationship. A quiet, private, personal proposal can just be as special, if not more. No fancy setup, no audience, just two people who love each other being real. Wait. I'm actually questioning, why is this an unpopular opinion? Because I mean, this seems like a lot of people like to do this, right? For me, I don't think this is an unpopular opinion, because I agree. I do agree that yes, there are people that do this public proposals, and it is definitely a very scary and very uncomfortable situation, especially for me. If I was the one getting proposed in a fictional world, or if I was the one proposing. Look, I don't need anybody's reaction. I don't need anybody's. I don't give a fuck about someone finally making my move to the woman that I love and finally setting the tone for us getting married. It's a moment where you are committing. It's the first step of truly committing your love and desire to your significant other, and you're having people watch you. It becomes a skeptical. It becomes something that you're grabbing attention for. Something that you're just looking for attention, and you're just gratifying that attention from others. For me, and for a lot of people, and especially for this person as well, I could give less of a fuck, because the only person that I'm trying to show attention is to my significant other, is to my fiance, is to my fucking future fiance, my fiance to my future wife. This is an intimate moment. It should only be between you two, and that's it. When people propose at like basketball games, or like on trips, but they have like a group of people around them, for me, obviously, I don't like the attention, and I wouldn't want to give the attention or like spotlight the attention to my significant other either, to put pressure on her for no reason, because maybe she might like the attention, but I don't like the attention. So why would I want to do that for her, simply just for her to get the attention? Like, I wouldn't do that even if she liked the attention. I would give her the attention, not fucking for everyone else to see. And for me personally, I love the fact I like the fact that once you propose and you tell someone, oh, yo, I proposed, then I like the after attention. You know, it's like after I propose to my future wife, and then sharing that moment with your mom, your dad, or whoever you want to tell afterwards, then that's like a special moment, because it's like it already happened. There's no like, I know I have an answer. It's a yes. So I can be certain to tell you, oh yeah, for sure. Oh, hey man, I proposed to her. She said yes. Wait a minute. Wait, she did? Oh my God, I'm so happy for you. That's awesome. But obviously, it's a fucking huge risk. Why? Because that's only if there's a yes from the woman, or very rarely from the man. But God forbid that fucking woman tells you no. It's gonna feel like the worst fucking mistake of your life. honestly, bro, those videos that I've seen from people getting rejected doing these public proposals, it's like, do I even feel bad for those people? I do, because I have sympathy for those people. And it's a very difficult situation for both. But obviously, it's like, well, what the fuck else do you expect? It's a yes or a no. You're taking a risk here, man. You're literally putting pressure on her to say yes. But what if she's like, no, I'm going to be real with you? No. I know. You're risking yourself potentially being embarrassed in front of your family, in front of your friends, in front of fucking random strangers. No, thank you. No, thank you. Would you rather get a no when it's just the two of you? Or would you rather get a no when there's fucking hundreds of people or 50 people around you waiting for the moment to happen? Because they're expecting a yes. They're not expecting a no. Just like you're expecting a yes, they're expecting a yes. And if a no comes out of her mouth, you're fucked, bro. You're fucked. And that shit is pretty much done. That shit is done at that point. And it's super fucking awkward. Bro, what do you even say? Like, bro, imagine if it's like my brother or whatever. And like, I'm like, oh my God, bro, my brother's about to propose. Oh my God. She said no. Oh shit. Oh shit. He's already just like regretting his life choices. Just completely like, oh fuck. No, she said no, man. What the fuck do I do? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And you're fucked afterwards. You're fucked afterwards. Yeah. Yeah. It's just like, you know, like, just keep it between you. You want her to get the attention. You want the moment to be about her. But you don't want other people to make it about her as well. Those people around you are not trying to do the same thing that you're trying to do. In the end of the day, they just want to know the result. They don't have to be there with you during the whole fucking moment itself. They're going to be equally as happy to tell them we're getting married than them actually being there in person to witness the proposal live. Like, and if a no happens, then it's just something that you get to keep between you and her. And necessarily, you don't have to tell anybody. I mean, shit will still hurt, and maybe you might end up telling some people afterwards. But at least it's not going to be an embarrassing moment for everybody else. It's just something that you and her kind of have that, whatever, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It's just you're really playing with, you're on thin ice. You're really on thin ice here. And you're just simply in a very, you know, you're just in a very difficult situation here. You're put in a very difficult situation, and you can't be surprised. You can't be surprised if it doesn't go the right way. You know what I'm saying? If it doesn't go the right way, you can't be shocked. That's the thing. So yes, I do agree that public proposals are more about attention than love. Yes, I do agree. Well, ladies and gentlemen, those have been some Reddit unpopular opinions. These weren't too bad. There was definitely some I disagreed. There was definitely some I agreed. But we ended off with a good one here. This is a good one. I like it. Let me fucking actually upvote this one. Yes. Yes, I do think it's definitely a lot more about the attention because, fuck me, I would never do this. I'm proposing to my fiance, me and her, in her fucking utopia. Whatever her utopia is, whatever is her dream vacation, whatever. She says, oh, babe, I really want to go to fucking Cancun. And let's just, you know, be by the beach. Or whatever. Fucking Venice. Let's just, you know, do something romantic there. You find a place where there's no one around. It's you and her. and get the job done. And if she says yes, that's amazing. Get ready to spend thousands of dollars for a fucking wedding. If you're going to do a big wedding, get ready to be putting in money, putting in work to set the whole fucking wedding up and prepare yourself, because that is hopefully the woman of your life, and that you're committing your life to her, and you're hoping for the best. But yeah, those were unpopular opinions off of Reddit. This is going to be a part. I definitely want to do a series to this. So yes, this is episode 1 of Unpopular Opinions from Reddit. I don't think Twitter is going to give me much good content here. So Reddit is going to be the way to go here. I was looking for some unpopular opinions on Twitter. Twitter is an absolute shit show. And there's probably a lot of things I don't want to be shown on fucking camera, and things that I don't really want to see either on Twitter. So let's just stick to Reddit for the meantime, doing these unpopular opinions. But fuck it, we'll do part 2 maybe next weekend. Part 1 is in the books, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you guys in a bit. Take care, and peace out, my friends.